Welcome to the first showcase of my 10k Dueling Coasters competition. Now, it's been an absolute honour to host this competition. It's been absolutely fantastic to see all of the amazing creations you've been making. Now, let's not delay any further and get into showcase 1 of 3 of the 10k Dueling Coasters competition. The first coasters of this competition, we have Alektai, which are dueling Gerstlauer launch coasters with a vertical launch. This looks insane. For those of you who said you can't do theming within a 4K blueprint, just look at this. This is the perfect example of theming in a 4K blueprint. It looks fantastic. I love all the industrial vibes of the place. There's just track absolutely everywhere. It's giving me proper Smiler and Voltron vibes. It just looks absolutely fantastic. And I love how the rides actually interact with the scenery as well, like how the mid-course brake run there is a big elevated structure, and even inside this first show scene, there's just so much going on. Like, the theming is really well done in this. I like the little pre-launch section as well, that's pretty cool. Oh, really big explosion into the vertical launch, which looks absolutely fantastic. Now, having done one of these, they're absolutely brilliant. Really great first drop, great interaction between the two there as well, and I'm noticing so many custom supports. A custom supported, fully themed 4K coaster, might I add. Really nice smooth riding experience as well. And up into the mid-course. I love the view of that first tower. There's some great near misses on this as well. Flying around all the theming and scenery. Ooh, a lot of hang time on there. Some nice sharp snapping turns as well, how very Gerstlauer, and then back into the station. We ride the second one now. This one looks more or less the same. Again, fantastic layout. I just love the way these two interact with each other. It feels like it's been very purposely done, all of these elements. Like, they have different elements like that non-inverted loop there, dueling with the other one, but they both take like the same amount of time, so that's really satisfying to see how that works. They both hop up into the mid-course. It's giving me like Saw vibes, the theming actually. And I suppose obviously Saw's a Gerstlauer Eurofighter as well, but I'd much rather ride this than Saw. Because this looks much smoother and the theme looks fantastic. Quick look at the night light in there as well. Really enjoyed this creation. Yeah, just fantastic. Like I said, this much theming in a 4K blueprint with a queue and everything. Really well done. Station building is massive as well. Yeah, great job. Our next set of dueling coasters are Alpha and Omega, which are dueling Mack water coasters. Really unique idea. I didn't expect to see dueling Mack water coasters because it's not really the first thing you think of when you think of dueling coasters, but I really like the look of this. Nice and tropical, got like bits of industrial theming going on with the pipework and everything. Nice simple station building, landscaping. The colours of the tracks are fantastic as well. And it's just a really nice, unique creation. I think I'm seeing custom supports there as well, which is very nice to see. And then they both go into that splashdown bit at the end together. Yeah, it's really nice. Up to the top of the lift hill on the blue side. I really want to build a Mack water coaster at some point. I don't think I've ever done one before. Oh no, I've done one before. I've done one, but it was my first ever park, so it wasn't very good. Nice helix there, bit of airtime, and then splash down into the water. Just imagine these dueling as well, like in real life, just because obviously it's a water coaster. Just think about when you crash into the pool at the bottom when you're on a water coaster. Obviously water goes everywhere, but if there's two of them and they both crash into the water at the same time, they're just going to soak each other, so you're going to get even more wet. Oh, slightly steeper drop on this one, swooshing around. I like how they're both quite different layouts as well, but they still interact with each other nicely. Pop up into airtime, nice head chopper there with the breaker off the blue one, and then crash in. I think I saw a few triggers there of water jets too. And then nice turn back into the lift hill, which takes it back into the station. It's a nice simple build, this one, but I really like the idea of it. Dueling water coasters, like I said, is never really something I've ever thought of, but seeing it, it works. And I really like the idea of it. That shot's nice there with both the hills going over the brake runs. Nice light lighting as well with some triggers on the dispatch sequence. It's a really nice little blueprint, this one. The next set of dueling coasters we have are the Atlantis Inverts. Now, these have been smoothed a lot, as you can see. 2 meter smoothed inverts, they look really nice. The layouts are both very different, which is interesting. And the theming as well is really nice. Lots of detailed Atlantis kind of like style buildings. I like the kind of temple building over there on the right. And there's that little dome structure just in front of us, which is like loads of little tiny pieces. And I had to have a little look in TEDUcam as well to show how it like really immerses you in this little themed area. It's a nice work. I love how the coasters are like sharing each other's colours as well. So like the lighter blue coaster has dark blue rails and the dark blue coaster has light blue rails. It's kind of a nice way to connect them together. I like how intimate and like small this area is as well, because obviously these big B&M inverts are quite large coasters, so seeing them both like tower over this small area is really cool. Let's speed it up a bit there as well so you can see them flying around this area. They absolutely tower above it. Huge vertical loop there. As we reach the top of the lift hill for the light blue invert. It's almost a little leg chopper there as it goes around. You can see how many track pieces this has been made from. This is going to be so smooth. Oh yeah, look at that. Profiling's fantastic as well. Huge vertical loop. Into a nice dive loop there. Quite intense turn. Nice 0G roll. Ooh, we've got a little under the station fly around as well. And then there's the brakes. And then we'll go on the dark blue one now. This one looks quite different. It almost starts off like, what's that family B&M? Is it the family B&M invert? The one that's in, I think it's China, where it does like a little helix. I suppose, is it... Oh, what's the one at... Oh, I can't remember. Some American part has the word bear in it. I think that one does that as well. Again, nicely profiled loop, turn. Oh, look at the profiling on that. Yeah, nice set of coasters. I like the interaction that they give with each other. Is like you can see the inversion there going through the loop. Nice solid set of coasters. Nice theming. That's really good. Our next pair of dueling coasters are Ben & Jerry's Minetrain. Look at this, it looks fantastic. I love like the idea of a dueling Minetrain. It's just perfect for this competition. And again, theming like this within a 4K blueprint just looks fantastic. Like all the rock work to create some interesting shapes. It's a proper terrain coaster, but the fact that you've made the terrain as well is so interesting. All the foliage is great, the custom path work, the custom lift hills as well. Just look at this in the centre. It's like a nice centrepiece. You can see the coaster flying all around you. Yeah, it's a really nice job. I love the look of they're really getting close to each other, the coasters, and proper intertwining together. The fact it's called Ben & Jerry as well is brilliant. See them going up the lift hills there. I like how it's like rock structures holding up the edges of the lift hill as well. That's quite interesting. Then we go up into the station. We've got a nice pair of stations there as well. Nice all custom queue line outside, because obviously you can't have pathing in blueprints. Yes, these look great. Let's get to the top of the lift hill on, I think this is the left one. See what I mean about how the rocks are like holding up the track as well. It's a really interesting way of creating terrain, I like it. Oh, and these are very smooth. Quite satisfying transitions as well. They're quite like floaty and twisty. Quite good speed as well for family coasters. So you get some nice airtime, nice laterals. Ooh, quite nice airtime. But you get really close to the other one. They're through pieces of terrain and scenery as well. Loads of little bunny hops at the end. I really like these two. We'll do chase view for this one so you can get a better view of the two trains dueling each other. I really like the profiling on this as well. Oh, that was satisfying. See them like flying around these ravines over each other. It's so cool. It's so close to some of this rock work, but it's like, it looks like realistic enough to be far away. There's something so satisfying about the profiling and movement. They're like snaking around. I'm doing like arm movements, but you can't see them. And then up into the brakes. I really like that, and they both come into the brakes at the exact same time as well. That is a great little blueprint. Our next dueling coasters, we have Celcius and Farenheight, which I think is a launched Mack or Intamin coaster and then a launched Intamin invert. These look really cool. I love the track colour and the way that they interact with each other. And as you can see as well, there's like raised pathwork and plazas all around the area. So you get pretty good views of the coast no matter where you are. Nice custom supporting work as well. The dueling elements look quite nicely timed together. That's cool. And they go over like certain elements at the same time. The flybys are really good. Yeah, these are like two very solid coasters. And these are like the areas that I said about like raised up. So you get really nice views like this, little triggered effects as well. Oh, these look great. It's an easier way to my heart building Intamin. I'm assuming you all know that. Okay, that's satisfying to have both of those elements like twisted together. The profiling looks very nice as well. Which I find profiling on inverts, like this type of invert, quite hard to get as well. So I'd be interested to see how that rides. Oh, I love the interactions, they both launch past each other. Straight up into the first inversion on the invert side. Yeah, the profiling looks good. Nice and snappy and intense. Nice floaty inversion there, going down into that ravine. And flipping upside down again. This is a great layout. Yeah, these twisty parts at the end as well, as on about the profiling, looks very good on those. And it's the brakes. That's great. See how the other side rides. Nice custom LSM fins as well. Love the interaction between the launches, that's fantastic. Really cool top hat. It's appreciated to see that it isn't trimmed. Oh, that's so cool. Wow, this one seems much faster. Whoa. Great profiling again on those inversions. Loads of airtime. Oh, that's nice. That kind of reminded me of like some of the turns at the end of Icon. And then into the brakes. Yeah, great pair of coasters there. I really like the way they both interact with each other, complement each other quite nicely. They both offer something a little bit different as well, like invert and sit down. Yeah, it's really cool. Next up, we have Collossos. I absolutely love the look of this already. I really wanted to ride Batman and Robin. Like, I mean, I found out it existed after it already closed, but like, if anyone makes a coaster like that again, I just think it's such a cool idea, and I'm so glad someone's like tried to recreate something in that same style for this competition. But these look so great, but the timings as well are brilliant. Like, they're so close to each other. Like, the tinkering to do on the track work must have been so meticulous to get that to work. But I really like this station area as well, custom pathing all around it. But the custom supports for me absolutely steal the show on this. They are just perfect. Like, they look exactly like the Batman and Robin ones. Oh, that's so cool. Look at that, they're like both perfectly in time with each other as well. And then you've got the LSM hold up there. So cool. It's going on the left side now. I can't remember which one this was on the Batman and Robin. I think this was the Robin side, wasn't it? And then the Batman one was the big top hat. That was a very nicely profiled Cobra roll. There's something about Cobra rolls I just really enjoy. This must have been so cool as well, like being held up here. I don't even know how you do that in game. That's cool. Yeah, very nice, smooth and profiled. And then back into the station. Yeah, I really like the look of this creation, it's so clever. And then we'll ride the other side now that does the inverted top hat. I bet you the hang time you must get on here. Oh yeah, perfect speed. I like the logo though that's framed as well in between them both. There's that inversion and then up into the spike that holds you. That's so cool. I need to look how to do that actually, that's a really nice effect. And then you do it all backwards. You get great views of the custom supports on this ride. I feel like that's a very me thing to say because I'm quite nerdy when it comes to custom supports, but no, they do look really good. Quick look at the night lighting as well, because it's very nice and subtle, but it just works. It's a very nicely well composed, realistic blueprint. Done a good job. So few coasters we've showcased so far compared to all the ones that are in this competition. I'm already blown away. It's going to be so hard to vote on the top 3. Moving on to our next creation, we have Corvus, quite simply named. It is a dueling Mack coaster, and I really like the look of this. It's like almost like it's been mirrored, at least the first few elements have. It just looks really impressive, like seeing it front on and seeing these like 2 huge, I was going to say implements, but they're not actually, they're like some sort of weird new Mack inversion. But I like all the interaction with the scenery as well, and the coasters both go off to do different things. Looks like it's been, yes, it has been custom supported as well, which is fantastic to see. Nice scenery interaction. Wow, the operations are good on these. Flying the trades out. That drop is very steep and nicely profiled as well, and it goes into that. Oh, so the elements are slightly different. That one is more like a traditional element. I like the track colour as well, the pink and the yellow, they go quite nicely together. The profiling looks very good on this. I like the interaction with the lift structure as well, how the supports are like supporting multiple different things at once. It's a really cool effect. We'll take a ride on the yellow side first. The interesting scenery piece off to the right as well, they're both like being supported off of that. Nice profile on the drop, it seems like quite snappy, almost like Expedition G-Force's drop. That element's very interesting, you get a lot of hang time on the top. Flying around into an inversion. It's like it's destroyed part of that building there, it's quite cool. Nice hang time on that loop, on outer bank. Massive airtime level. Oh, they're right underneath the stall as well. Really cool timing between the 2 of those elements. And then back into the station. That's quite cool. And then the pink side, which I assume is more or less just the same from looking at it off-ride with like a couple of different elements. Again, very nicely profiled first drop. More of a traditional Immelman this time. Hang time's great on that, the speed was perfect. Nice twisty turns, very Mack. And like a inclined Immelman almost, inclined loop sort of thing. Flying through this building and the stall and the airtime hill at the same time, that's very cool. Another nice hang tammy inversion. Here's the brakes. Yeah, nice little creation. There's a nice mix of elements, nice different types of interactions going on between the 2 coasters. Good job. Next up we have Corvus Mines, Saphire and Ruby. This looks fantastic. I love all of these creations that we've seen so far that are like heavily using terrain and rock work. Obviously because it's a blueprint you can't manually use terrain like you would in the game normally, so having to create it like this is a whole other challenge, but it looks great. And the actual Mara spinners themselves look fantastic. These are some very, very fun coaster models in real life, and you've had such a great play around with some of the elements there. That section looks so cool. But like even the interaction between the different tracks, the custom supporting, all the rock work and everything. Then you've got this really cool feature at the start, just like Winges at Phantasialand, got the lifts up to the top of the coaster, which is so cool to be able to do. Really hope we can do that in the future if there is a Planet Coaster 2. Really cool first drop. Very sharp banking, twisting to the side. Nice helix there. The spinning feels very controlled as well, which is quite difficult to get on this coaster model. Really nice variation of being like out in the open like this and then out in smaller scenes like that. This section's so cool. I really like that. Again, the profiling is pretty much perfect. It looks so good. Nice view of the area as well. I like the track colour. I like everything about this. Oh, the Dueling's keeping up as well. The other car's just behind the corner. Nice little bridge. Oh, there's a really odd element. Wow, outer bank on a spinning coaster must be really interesting. And then into the station again. I really like that. A great set of coasters. Definitely taking inspiration from Winges at Phantasialand, obviously, but like it's a whole new spin. Pardon the pun. It's like a whole new version of it. Yeah, dueling Mara spinners was a great idea. I'm happy someone's done it, and you've definitely done it justice. Done a fantastic job. This section's great. That's my favourite part of the ride. And all the terrain interaction as well. Oh, it's been so well done. And the night lighting, look at that. It looks absolutely fantastic. You've really thought about how this is all composed together in this very, very detailed blueprint. Next up we have Creature by the one and only Flooded Tombs. He sent me a couple of screenshots of this as he was making it. Just a few, just to tease me. And I'm so blown away by the finished product. Just look at it, it's fantastic. We've got 2 dueling B&M inverts, heavily inspired by Monster at Groneland, obviously, but it just looks fantastic. Profiling looks brilliant, they look so realistic, the custom supports as well look great, and Flooded has built it on this huge like themed pad so that you can have an underground station, just like Monster at Groneland, which is fantastic. But I'm just loving the look of this. Got the station here. Oh, it's just fantastic. It's given me like vibes of so many different things. Like obviously the theme in here sort of looks a bit like Nemesis, and it's just brilliant. I love how you just emerge out of the ground there as well. Top of the lift hill on the right side. Very nice twisted first drop. Custom supports look brilliant around that one like thick central column. Oh, brilliantly profiled 0G roll. Nice Immelman. Get a little bit of hang time at the top there as well. Another very nicely profiled inversion. Right, bank turn. Cobra roll, I always find them so difficult to profile, but that was perfect. Another Cobra roll, interlocking, brilliant. Love a good classic B&M element. And it turns around to go into the brakes to bring it back underground. That is so cool. Right, time for the second side now. It's going to be very difficult for it to beat the first. Brilliant first drop again. I just really like this ride, it's brilliant. I like all the little bits of realism around it as well. I like all the planters, like I said, the custom supports are brilliant. They're like two-toned as well. Oh, it's just fantastic. The pacing's great as well, it's so smooth. I just don't understand how you can get profiling this good. I find invert profiling very difficult, so you've done this very well. And the brakes to take it back underground again. That's so cool. And I wanted a quick shot of it at night as well to show the very nice, like, subtle night lighting. It's an absolutely brilliant creation. I absolutely love this. Once again, Flooded, you've outdone yourself. Nothing more to say. Nice little shot of the maintenance area as well. You've done a fantastic job with this one. Congratulations. Next up we have Crystal Chase, which is a dueling family gravity group coaster. This looks fantastic. I already love the whole like atmosphere and colour scheme of it all. Seems very well put together. It's got like a whole plaza at the front of it as well. Looks really, really nice. I love the dueling aspects of wooden coasters in general, and this looks like it's been really well done. The gravity groups have got such like specific profiling and like shaping to their elements, and this looks very well studied. They're just like perfectly in sync with each other as well. This looks great. I love how they've created like a central plaza around it as well. Custom path cover and everything, even a queue. Again, great example of how to do a 4K blueprint coaster that's still nice and themed. And get down a bit closer to Pathy, you've got a little gift shop which you exit into. I love how you can see the coaster just towering above there as well. Crystal Chase sign as well. It looks fantastic. Got a whole queue as well. Obviously you can't have paths because it's a blueprint, so the fact that you made a whole queue is brilliant. We'll ride it first on the red side. Let's see how this goes. I like the profiling already, even that first element's quite interesting. We go right down the first drop. We've got the plank covers as well on the track, very nice. Little realism touch. Yeah, this feels very gravity group already. I'm really liking the look of this. Interaction's nice between the two of them. Nice sharp bank turn. Going all around each other, up and over. It's cool. Another bank turn. Off-axis airtime hill. And then that waterfall there reveals the crystal as you go past, which is very cool. We've got a maintenance area and transfer track and everything. Got all the realism features this coaster. On the blue side now, down the first drop. I love how the coasters, obviously, because one of them's going to be inside the other one at points, so it'll be taking slightly sharper turns, and even though it's still doing that, they're still keeping up with each other pacing-wise, which is very difficult to do, as you'll find out in a certain park series that might be coming up that I might be doing a certain dueling coaster. I like how the last couple of elements are almost mirrored as well. That's cool. I want to go on this coaster. Gravity groups are really interesting. I like the whole themed area. There's a great coaster, great theming, great job. Next up we have Democracy, which is, I assume, a coaster themed to Helldivers. It might not be, but that was my first thought, which is a dueling Chance Hyper GTX, and this creator did ask for this showcase to be displayed at night, and you can tell why. The lighting looks fantastic. I love all the triggered lights as you're going up the lift hill as well. Never seen any Chance Hyper GTXs other than, I think there's one under construction and one already built, so it's nice to see more of like quite a rare coaster model being represented, which is quite cool. The shaping looks fantastic. Both flying around after each other as well. Again, perfectly synced up, just like the last coaster. Yeah, this looks really cool. It's just so odd seeing like this style of track with modern coaster elements, but it's exactly what this type of ride's like. Very nice lighting as you lead up to the station. I think there's a dispatch effect as well. Yes, there is. That looks very cool. Like a little dance party, I believe, in the station. I'm loving this. That lift looks huge. Right, we're at the top now. Very, like, modern shaped drop, like I said, for this coaster track type. It just looks so odd, but oh, it's very satisfying. The profiling already is great. And the Airtime hills and the outer bikes going right past each other. That wave turn stall, that's cool. Wow, you get some great airtime on this. Nice twistiness. All sorts of really cool transitions going on. That was a very, like, Vekoma whippy turn, wasn't it? Yeah, and then into the brakes. That's really nice. I'm liking this coaster. We're on the red side now. It's almost mirrored again like the last one, but with a couple of different elements thrown in. The pacing on both of these two is fantastic. Both relentless. Like, even as it keeps going towards the end, you're still getting like great airtime and snapping turns. It's fantastic to watch. Once again, brilliant interaction between the two coasters. I love all the near misses between all the other track. You can always see the train going around. It's very cool. Like I said earlier, all this airtime and snappy turns right before the end as well. It keeps up its speed really nicely. Yeah, great coaster. Really enjoyed that one. Next coaster is Draghi something. I'm not going to pronounce that. I don't want to offend anyone. I'm terrible at pronouncing names, but anyway, this looks great. Dueling Vekoma coasters by the looks of things, and I just love the way this looks. I've never really seen something like dueling, well, obviously there's dueling family boomerangs and inverts, but never like both dueling thrill coasters by the looks of it. This looks really interesting. Underground station as well, which is pretty cool. I'm going to sit down side first. Nice steep drop. Ooh, custom supports already. This is great. And the profiling's great too. Oh, the custom supports are fantastic. This is a very smooth and well-profiled ride as well. Very whippy, just like normal Vekomas are. I like how they're both kind of chasing each other around as well. You can always see the other one flying around. Nice whippy turns. Very nicely profiled inversion to keep the like rate of turn constant as you go through it. The custom supports are brilliant. It's easy way to my heart with custom supports. You should all know this by now. And then we'll go on the invert side now. Again, another nicely profiled first drop, very steep. These custom supports are very accurate as well. It's how you'd see it in real life too, because obviously if you have like two Vekoma coasters like the STCs and Family Boomerangs, they share the same supports, so this looks really realistic and fantastic. I'm just having a great time watching this. It's just so much like coaster realism going on. I love it. Really cool sweeping turns as well. Oh, train. Nice bit of scenery. I didn't notice that the first time around. Great inversion there as well. It's like very modern Vekoma profiling. Nice little bits of airtime on an invert as well towards the end. Over the water and back into the station. Yeah, I really like that. It's great. Just use of realism and everything like that. It's fantastic. Our next pair of coasters is Dragon's Dominion Dueling RMCs, and these look great. I like again how creators are making a whole like themed area around the rides. It's just that much more immersive and realistic. Like there's a plaza over there with food area, all the queue and the station buildings are in. It's not just a coaster in the middle of a field. Like this looks fantastic. Two very unique RMCs as well. Like the elements on these are quite odd for an RMC, but in a good way. It's like they've been really experimenting recently with a lot of different coaster elements, and this just proves that. Like that's almost like the step up underflip there, but like a non-inverting version, if that makes sense. I just really like the look of this, and it's got some very unique elements. Great pre-lift section as well. So I'll have a quick look through the area before we get on the coasters. I'm really liking the look of this, like I said. All this realism with all the don't die fencing and queues. Looks fantastic. And then the pre-lift section, like I mentioned earlier. Nice little out-of-bank airtime we'll start off with. Then we get to the top of the blue side. Again, almost like a little outer bank, and then quite a steep drop as well. Imagine this would give you some great airtime and forces. Like a almost Immelman there. And up to another quite steep drop. Little speed hill at the bottom of the drop. Up around this overbank section and then twisting back into the brakes. On the orange side now, it's got a bit of a longer pre-lift section, which is nice to see, going under the bridge that takes you into the themed area. And then again, nicely profiled first drop, the huge outer bank, just as you get out of it. That's really cool. Give you some great forces going up there. Double down, almost like that non-inverting step-up underflip thing I mentioned earlier, which is pretty cool. Nice speed hill, another turnaround. Then twisting an airtime hill back into the brakes. Nice pair of coasters. I'm glad people are doing dueling RMCs because it's just such a cool concept. Like RMCs are some of the most like interesting and special coasters in the world, so to have two of them dueling would be just fantastic to see in real life. Yeah, great entry this one. Enjoyed it. Next up we have Duel of the Gods, which just look at this. It's so like in your face and there's so much going on. There's just coaster track everywhere. The theming's really interesting as well. It's like, look, like the name says, like dueling gods, I assume, Poseidon and Zeus. Really cool first element there. Get a lot of hang time on the top of that. And then, just like I said, there's just so much going on in this area. With the throughput of this as well, it runs like, I think it's 3 trains per side. So it's just constantly trains flying around everywhere. This looks brilliant. Look at them go. Nicely synced up elements as well, like all dueling coasters should have. This looks fantastic. We'll ride the Intamin side first. It looks like Intamin and Premier rides, 2 sides. Great launch up into that. Oh, that's a really interesting one. It's like it's a non-inverting loop, sort of, with a different exit. Oh, I love how they stay so close to each other, but both doing such different things. Like one's doing inversion, one's doing like a snapping airtime hill or something. Nice low to the ground section through all the rocks. Airtime hill underneath this, on top of a stall. That's cool. Nice Immelman there. The profiling's pretty good on this. Diving down into the rocks and weaving in and out all that track. Yeah, they're staying really close together, these two, which is great to see. Nice, like sideward stall there, and then into the brakes. Both at the same time as well, which is great. We'll ride the Premier Ride side this time. Ooh, yeah, so it's like slightly similar elements with like a different twist on them. That one's got like a downwards inversion. It's like Hyperia's outer banky thingy. This side appears to be much faster and more intense. It's got a lot more going on as well, like different inversions and everything. I suppose the train's smaller so it can navigate like more intense and snapping elements. Nice double up there. Interactions with the rocks again. It's like they're supporting the track there, which is a really cool effect. Wow, great airtime and head choppers as they're coming towards the end of this ride's layout. And flying around into the brakes. Yeah, I really like that one. Lots of different unique elements going on. It's just so chaotic with all the coaster track going absolutely everywhere. Great entry. Next up we have Dueling Dragons, which looks like a fantastic homage to the original Dueling Dragons from Islands of Adventure, but this one's got like a lot more theming going on, which is great to see. Really interesting elements as well. Like I said with the last one, it looks like the coasters stay very close to each other during this, much like the original Dueling Dragons, which is fantastic to see. And they've taken the fire and ice theming very literally with like all the lava and water all over the floor. It looks really cool. Very nice shot there as you approach the ride. Love that. Go on the blue side first. Great custom supporting as well, not only just on the lift but throughout the rest of the layout. This looks fantastic. Nicely profiled first drop. This feels like a very classic B&M invert. Got a nice dive loop there. And water feature too. Oh, they get really close to each other. Very intense as well, just like a B&M invert should be. Nice helix. Get really close to the ground with all the near misses with the theming. Wow. Nice custom supported near misses as well. That's a nice feature on the floor there with the different floor coverings. And then it's the brakes. Yeah, that's great. Very fast and intense and near misses. All the things a B&M invert should be, this coaster definitely does. Go on the red side now. Again, similarly profiled classic B&M first drop. Into the dive loop again. And a fire pit underneath this one. Very fast inversion there. Wow, that would be so intense. Nice snapping airtime and twists. The scenery interaction is brilliant. There's just so many near misses and stuff to look at while you're flying around. Pacing is relentless on these two, especially the red one. Very nicely smooth too. And then opens the brakes. Yeah, great job. Really enjoyed this too. The night lighting is very nice as well. All the triggered effects. Like the lighting's so subtle, but it just works and complements like the two sides of the coaster really well. Like each side of it is like highlighted in its own colours, and it almost like mixes into purple on the parts where they interact. Oh, that fire looks great at night. Yeah, brilliant coaster. Really enjoyed this one. Next up we have simply called Dueling Mack coasters, which they are Dueling Mack coasters. They're almost giving me sort of like a racing theme. I'm really liking the look of these. Nice simple layout, but with loads of little quirky elements going on and very Mack transitions. I'm liking the look of this. It almost reminds me of like the second half of Icon, where it's just lots of little twists and airtime pops. Look at the operations on this. Already out the station. Really nice realism on this as well. Custom supports look very good. You can see the building at the bottom of the launch. That would house like all the launch electrics and stuff. Look at them just like flying around. There's so many like little bunny hops and nice transitions. It's a very playful layout. Nice realistic transfer track detail in there as well. And a nice simple station building. Even with a queue too. The elements on this look great. Like the profiling is very well studied clearly. Like it's pretty immaculate, the profiling. And although it's not the biggest coaster in the world, you definitely have a lot of like thrilling elements, I'd say, like with all the airtime and snapping turns. So it'd probably be a good coaster for families as well as thrill seekers. Everyone can get something out of it. We'll ride the red side first. You get a great head chopper straight away with either track. Twisting down, nice overbank, airtime, a downwards turn into lots of other twistiness and airtime. Yeah, very short layout, but it packs a punch. Wow. We'll go on the blue side now. I like these realism touches with the like, operator boxes and cameras on the catwalk. It's a nice touch. Custom supports look great as well. I've used that TMTK piece that like blends the transition between the track and the support. This one looks a lot more intense with its airtime. Wow, okay. That was over very fast, but packs in a lot, like I said. I just love the way that they interact with each other. It's like they're both flying around. You can see this like around the edge of a park and like just like hugging the perimeter of it. Yeah, brilliant job. The supports and the transitions and all the airtime hills, like, that definitely steal the show for me for this ride. Next up, we have Dueling Mack strykers, and that is exactly what this is, Dueling Mack strykers. Again, brilliant concept. I've ridden Voltron recently, so I now absolutely love Mack striker coasters, and you can tell that these stay very true to the Mack striker name. This creator asked for this showcase to be done at night, and you can see why. The track lighting looks great. The interaction between these two looks very well done as well. Custom supports over the water feature there as well, made by the Rapids, which is a nice touch. And these elements look very Voltron-esque, especially with the beyond vertical launch into the inversion out of the station. Again, brilliant operations on this, probably just like Voltron. It looks like it's running 3 trains each side, which is fantastic. I like that both the coasters are subtly different as well, like they're not the exact same, but they've got loads of different elements going on, and like I said with a couple of the other ones, keeping up with each other so perfectly in time. So satisfying to watch. Got like a corkscrew above a 0G roller, that's cool. Start from the blue side into the vertical launch, you get great hang time on top of there, and then an outer bank to exit it, very cool. 2 inversions over the path through the entrance, which looks great. Nice custom support in there too. Always appreciate the custom supports on this channel. Go to a block section, and then probably my favourite part of the ride by the looks of it, like that 0G. Is it a 0G roll? It's like a very tight heartline roll, I suppose. Like a Mosasaurus roll, and then you've got the corkscrew that flies over the top of it. It's a very cool moment. I feel like that would be like the most photogenic part of this ride. I'm thinking from like a vlog standpoint. This would be a very nice coaster to vlog. It's like going all around the path all above you. It looks great. Flying around into these dive loops again. And then this is the other side of that element I was on about, doing the corkscrew over it. Yeah, very nicely put together coasters. Just the pacing of these is very well done. They just fly around the track. They keep up with each other really nicely, and it goes through all of these elements at a pretty perfect looking speed. Really interesting station building as well. Yeah, great pair of Mack dueling strykers there. Enjoyed this one. Keeping up with the trend of dueling RMC coasters, we have Dueling RMC coasters. Perfect name for this, but these look fantastic. Look at the scale of these. It's so dense as well, with like just all the track and the wooden beams, all the trees and theming pieces. This looks fantastic. It looks very well detailed, very realistic as well, with a lot of the transitions and elements. It just looks very well, like, as much as it's a massive mess of track, it looks so well put together. I'm really enjoying the look at this. You can just look at it for ages. There's so much going on. There's just track everywhere. Very nice industrial theme as well. I'm loving the interaction between the tracks, and the track colours are very nice as well. Like very industrial blue and red. Oh, that was nice. Like stall on the airtime will go over the entrance. That's very cool. I'm liking the look of this. I'll go on the blue side first. Got a little outer bank just to come out the station. Lift hills perfectly lined up together. I have a feeling this is going to be very cool. Straight into an inversion. Nice, the profile looks great, that looks very smooth. Flying around into an overbank. This is that airtime hill that goes up to stall. Yeah, that looks perfect. I saw the custom supports on the roof there as well, for where you couldn't do it over the station building. Nice touch. Very smooth inversions, flying around each other. Oh yeah, the interaction between these two is brilliant. It's like framing the perfect interactive moments, like that you're supposed to see, and like it's very well presented. I'm liking this. Go on the red side now, so this one doesn't do an inversion, unlike the other one, it goes straight underneath it. Very cool effect, very steep drop. This one already looked quite a bit quicker. Great inversion there, and then into the stall over the airtime hill. That looks fantastic. Zooming around, great transitions on this. You'll be thrown around everywhere. Nice like sideways stall, great interaction again. Downwards inversion. Just go on forever, these two. I love how it's like flying around with the like lift hill structures there as well. There's just beams everywhere. And then into the brakes. Yeah, great job on this. I think that probably is my favourite moment there, seeing the two interact over Lift Hill. That's so cool. What a brilliant blueprint. Great job. Next up on our list of dueling coasters, we have dueling coasters, and these look really unique. Got two launched, what they call Premier Ride Skyrocket models. Custom supporting looks fantastic on these. Really enjoying the look of them. Again, the red and the blue theme, it just works. Like every time, it just works. Well, very well profiled as well. I always find this track type difficult to profile with because the banking offset isn't the same as the other ones, or at least it doesn't feel the same. Nice themed area that you've created around them as well. Look quite similar to the coaster we had a couple of entries ago that frames the area that it's in, and this is a great example of how you can build an area in that framing. It's quite cool. We've got a launch tunnel. This is nice. Straight into that launch too. We've got a little airtime pop before it inverts upwards. It's such a cool element. Dives down there, snapping twists and turns like a downwards inversion. Both keeping up with each other quite nicely as well, which is good to see. Very nice custom supports into the brakes. This is quite similar to the one a couple of entries ago. It's very simple, but it works. For the few elements that it has, they both feel very considered throughout all the elements, and there are a lot of unique elements going on as well, which I really like. Go on the blue side now. I like this tunnel feature. That greater sense of speed. Does a little airtime pop and then kind of a similar inversion coming out, but ends up in a top hat almost. Airtime hill, snapping turn, nicely profiled stall, and then into the brakes. I like these two. Very nice and simple, like I said before, but they're effective at what they do. Good job. Next up, we have Dueling Dragons. I'm liking the look of this. Two dueling launch Vekoma coasters with some really unique elements as well. Not really elements that I've seen before, especially the element the blue one's about to do now, but really interesting. I like the look of these. Just modern gen Vekomas can do basically whatever they want at this point. They're inventing new elements completely on their own. I'm really liking the look of this, and it definitely does just that. Got a nice wooded, rocky alpine theme going on. This creator's put the queue in as well, which is brilliant to see. It's a nice little compact themed area with two very big thrill coasters, and we've got some nice custom support in there too. Watching them both fly around together is quite satisfying. So we've got an Immelman and a top hat, and they both go into, oh no, one of them goes into an airtime hill, the other goes into a corkscrew, then another airtime hill, then you've got that really cool helix as that slow snaking hang-timey inversion on the blue side, and then the black side does I think an outer bank, another outer bank, yeah, and then an airtime pop into the brakes. Not really nice. We'll go on the blue side first. Nice to see hydraulic launches in the competition. Not something people use too often, but I love a good hydraulic launch. Nice corkscrew there, and then it goes round into this very unique inversion. Oh, it's actually two, so it does a inversion, stays 90 degrees banked, and then comes out of it into another one. I feel we might see an element like that in the future, a very hang-timey, slow inversion that's quite high up. I like the look of that. Nice top hat there on the black side, airtime hill, really big airtime hill. You get great airtime on there. Another really big airtime hill. Outer bank, not outer bank, over bank, well, that's the wrong word. And twisting underneath the track into an airtime hill, and then into brakes. Nice pair of coasters. I like the look of these. Good job. Next up, we have Dueling Rockets, a pair of very nicely presented dueling Mack coasters with a whole themed area around them. This is what I was saying about people saying 4K pieces isn't enough to do a realistic coaster that's custom supported and with any sort of theming with it. Look at this. This looks fantastic. There's some brilliant examples of that in this competition as well, which I'm so excited for you to all see, but this just looks great. Even down to at the bottom, you can see the different paving around the footers. There's just loads of little detail bits that I'm noticing as I'm spotlighting this. The custom supports look brilliant as well. Like I said a few entries ago, when you've got dueling coasters like this, they can share the same supports because parks will probably buy them as a package deal together, which this creator has done exactly just that. That whole support structure there is supporting 3 or 4 different elements per side of track, which is great to see. Now this coaster did use terrain, so I've tried my best to try and replicate that, but obviously in the blueprint the terrain doesn't come across, so if it's not up to what you were expecting, I'm sorry about that, but that's the whole point of the blueprint. I can't do terrain. But you've still managed to put terrain into it with the different levels that you've created above ground as well, which is fantastic to see. Onto the coasters anyway. This one's great. It's so intense and fast. There's all sorts of different elements going on. I love, like I've said, the terrain changes, but also like the elevation changes above ground, like interacting with the bridges. Very great near misses as well. Go on the blue side now too. I like how the launch is slightly inclined because you come up into like an airtime hill out of it. Great Immelman there. Another pair of coasters that stay very close to each other as well, which is fantastic to see. I love the elements of like the inversions and airtime hills on top of each other. It's a fantastic effect. It's kind of like that moment on whatever the dueling RMC is at Six Flags Magic Mountain, how you can like have the, I don't know why they called it the high five element, but you know what I mean, you're not going to actually high five someone, but like you feel like you could. And the night lighting as well looks brilliant. There's like loads of different colours going on. It's like so varied. Like no matter where you look, you've got like a different perspective on the coaster, and like it's again very photogenic. I keep thinking of it as like from a vlogger's perspective, but this would be a brilliant coaster to vlog. Just imagine sitting in one of these bars, having a drink as well, watching the coaster go round. It's a really nice immersive themed area around this ride. Feels very realistic. Good job. And the final entry of showcase number 1, we have Dynamite Dash. Great to see Fancy Coaster Cow entering again. This looks brilliant. A pair of dueling Mack coasters once again, but a very different style. This almost feels like a smaller version of Stardust Racers at Epic Universe. Got some great elements that feel very well considered in their pace, like you get some nice hang time on these. Like look at those two there. Huge corkscrews going around each other as well. Airtime hills, and there's just everything going on. The custom supporting is very nice as well. The Western theming, very much appreciated, as I do love Western theming, as you'll see with my new park. Trying not to subtly plug it every now and again. I love all the like nature theming with this as well. The station building is very nice. Loads of beams, you know how to please me. I like it. I look at this pre-launch section as well, like go over the queue and into the shed. Got some nice couple of elements just after that, and then into the main launches of the ride. It's given me very, what's the word, Pantheon vibes at the start of this attraction too. Again, both of them perfectly synchronised together. Come up into a huge top hat there on the golden side. Nice steep drop. Airtime hill. These are so smooth. And then sort of like a interestingly banked Immelman. Really big corkscrews. They look very photogenic. Yeah, this coaster just feels very well considered, like how it interacts with the other one, but like they're both so realistic as well. It's giving me major Stardust Racers vibes. I love those. I like this shed as well that it goes through first. It's a nice like interactive theming piece that you like go very close to during your ride. Custom supports as well, like they blend in so well because they just look so real. And the red side comes up underneath this top hat into a very overbanked turn. That's nice. Stalls out at the top too, giving us a great hang time. And into a dive loop. Twists around to that corkscrew section, which is so cool. Then this side's almost more airtime focus as it approaches the end. Really nice long inversion there, and then snap into the brakes. These are two very good coasters. Like, they just feel very well refined and thought about, and the way that they interact with each other whilst not being exactly the same as well is very well done. Very nice coasters to end this showcase with. And there you have it. That is the first 10k Dueling Coasters Competition showcase finished with. Come back tomorrow for showcase number 2 and the day after on Wednesday for showcase number 3. I hope you can join us for those. Can't wait to see you then and showcase some more amazing creations. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one.